Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you already know that the NFC North has been a bit of a battleground this season. The Lions, sitting comfortably at 5-2, have been performing well, but there's a storm brewing on the horizon, especially with what's being whispered around the league. And no, it's not just about the upcoming draft or some minor roster tweak. This is something that could reshape the entire division, and it involves the Philadelphia Eagles, the team that's been struggling a bit this season with a 2-5 record. The buzz is that the Eagles, who are currently facing some serious issues on their offensive line, are eyeing a blockbuster trade that could send one of their key veterans, Lane Johnson, to the Detroit Lions. And believe me, this isn't just a rumor. Sources from inside the league are confirming that the Eagles are seriously considering trading Johnson to Detroit in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2025. Now, why would the Eagles do that? Well, if you look at their current situation, they're 2-5, and their offensive line has been allowing an average of 3.9 sacks per game. That's a significant problem when your franchise quarterback, Jalen Hurts, needs to operate smoothly. Their defense isn't helping much either, giving up nearly 28 points per game. The Eagles are in a bit of a rebuild mode, trying to retool their roster and get younger, especially on the edges and line. But that's not all. The trade, if it goes through, would give Philadelphia cap relief of around $15 million, which they could then use to bolster other areas, perhaps a new edge rusher in the draft or via free agency. It's a bold move, no doubt, but one that could potentially salvage their season if they get the right pieces. For Detroit, this potential trade could be a game changer. Imagine having Lane Johnson, a veteran tackle who's been one of the best in the league for years, anchoring your offensive line. At 35, Johnson remains an elite player, standing at 66 and weighing around 325 pounds. His career grade from PFF is an impressive 98, and even in this season's tough environment, he's been a shining star. Up until September 15th, he recorded an 82% pass block win rate, allowed only 2 sacks, and had a run block grade of 88. Those numbers are elite. And even with a minor ankle injury in Week 5 that limited his snaps to 68%, he bounced back in Week 7 with a zero-pressure game against the Giants. Johnson's ability to protect the quarterback and open lanes in the running game is exceptional. And speaking of the run game, the Lions have been solid but could definitely benefit from an upgrade on the right side of the offensive line. Currently, their protection allows about 3.2 sacks per game, which ranks them around the middle of the league. But with Johnson in the fold, projections show that this number could drop significantly, perhaps to the top 15 in the NFL. That would be a massive boost for Jared Goff, who's been performing well but needs that extra time and protection to really elevate the offense. Johnson's presence would also open up more running lanes for Jahmyr Gibbs, whose 4.3 yards per carry has been promising but could see a boost with a more stable blocking scheme. The zone scheme that Detroit employs would benefit tremendously from a veteran like Johnson, who excels in zone blocking and can adapt swiftly to the scheme. Now, if we look at the impact this could have on the Lions' playoff aspirations and their overall trajectory this season, it's pretty significant. With Johnson anchoring the right side of the line, the team's overall efficiency would jump, especially in the passing game. Advanced stats show that Johnson is among the top 2 right tackles in true pass sets, with an 84% win rate. His ability to anchor against bull rushes with a 92% success rate would make it much harder for defenses to generate pressure. And as we all know, protecting Jared Goff better means more sustained drives, more points, and ultimately more wins. In terms of the NFC North, this move could also shift the balance of power. The Lions, with their solid 5-2 record, are already looking like serious contenders, but adding a player like Johnson to their offensive line would amplify their chances of making a deep playoff run. Imagine a playoff game where Goff has all the time he needs, and the running game is firing on all cylinders. That's the kind of scenario that could turn the Lions into a real Super Bowl threat. And if you recall, the Lions' recent history has been marked by close calls and missed opportunities, but with the right pieces, they've shown they can compete with anyone. Switching gears a little, let's talk about the broader implications. The Eagles, on the other hand, are in a different situation. They're potentially looking at a rebuild, especially on their offensive line and defense. Johnson's contract, worth around $80 million, weighs heavily on their cap, with $18 million coming in 2026. Moving him now would free up some cap space, which they desperately need to rebuild their roster. They also get a valuable draft pick to help shape their future. But the question is, can they afford to part with such a vital player? That's a decision that could define their season and future. Back to Detroit, the potential acquisition of Lane Johnson isn't just about plugging a hole. It's about elevating the entire offensive line, making it a fortress that can protect Goff and open up running lanes. This move could also serve as a catalyst for the Lions to take another step forward, pushing their win total even higher. We've seen what a difference a top-tier tackle can make. Think back to the Thomas trade in 2019, which boosted the New Orleans Saints' rushing attack significantly. Johnson, in many ways, could have a similar impact for Detroit. His ability to improve the run game and pass protection could add around 8 or more wins over the course of the season, turning a good team into a true contender. Now, let's talk about the specific stats that make Johnson such a game-changer. He's a guy who excels in true pass sets, with a win rate of 84%, and he's able to anchor against some of the best rushers in the league. His run-blocking grade of 88. 4 shows that he's just as effective in the run game as he is in pass protection. His ability to generate lanes for Gibbs and help Goff operate comfortably in the pocket is unmatched. His career totals include 13 Pro Bowls and 5 All-Pro selections, which speaks volumes about his consistency and talent. Even with injuries, Johnson has shown resilience, rebounding strongly after a Week 5 ankle injury and a season-ending torn ligament in Week 3 last year. His experience and leadership would be invaluable in Detroit's locker room. Looking ahead to the Super Bowl picture, the Lions, currently sitting at plus 6-0 odds, could see those numbers drop dramatically if Johnson joins the fold. Some projections suggest that with Johnson as a key piece, Detroit's chances of reaching the Super Bowl could improve significantly, potentially moving their odds to around plus 500. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's rooted in the tangible impact a player of Johnson's caliber can have on a team's overall performance. The Lions already have a solid foundation, but adding a veteran like Johnson could be the final piece needed to push them over the top, especially in high-stakes playoff games against top-tier opponents like the 49ers, who have been known to sack Goff multiple times per game. And let's not forget about the division rivals and the NFC as a whole. The Bears and Packers are both retooling, but the Lions have been building steadily. A trade for Johnson could be the difference-maker that propels Detroit into the elite tier of NFL teams. Their current 5-2 record is impressive, but with Johnson's addition, they could realistically aim for 8 or more wins, solidifying their position as a playoff team and a true Super Bowl contender. The division title could be within reach, and that's a huge deal for Lions fans who have been waiting years for sustained success. In the end, this potential trade isn't just about football. It's about legacy, about building a team that can compete for championships year after year. Lane Johnson, with his experience, resilience, and elite talent, could become a cornerstone of Detroit's offensive line for years to come. It's a move that echoes the historic trades and signings that have shaped NFL dynasties. For Detroit fans, it's an exciting time, seeing your team potentially land a player who can elevate the entire roster, who can help turn dreams of a Super Bowl into reality. The road to greatness isn't easy, but with strategic moves like this, the Lions are positioning themselves to be a force in the NFL for years to come. So, as we await official confirmation, it's clear that this is a story to watch closely. The NFL is a league of movement, of bold decisions, and the Lions might just be on the brink of making one of the most impactful moves in recent franchise history. Keep your eyes peeled, Lions fans, because the next few weeks could bring a new chapter in Detroit's quest for NFL dominance. And remember, no matter what happens, we're all here to support our team, to celebrate their successes, and to stay tuned for all the latest updates on this unfolding story. Because when it comes to Detroit Lions football, the best is yet to come. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back, Soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news.